Okay, then. Give me a minute. Yep, we are on. And here we go. Bloody hell, how do I put this spot? I have to put the spotlight on myself. Okay, so hello, everybody, and a very warm welcome to all of you. Nalini, Deepika, Ruchi, Swati, Amit, all of you. I can't see more names because now I've put myself on the spotlight. I can only see my thobra out here. But thank you so much, such gracious presence. Oh my God, thank you so much. हाँ, इतनी मेहनत करके आती हूँ, इतना मेकअप लगा लगू के on Saturdays just to make sure that I get compliments like this, no? All right, so fun. All right, so wonderful. So a very warm welcome to all of you for today's session. And today's session is about vulnerability. Vulnerability. And, to start off with, we don't even understand the meaning of what it is to be vulnerable. What is it to be actually vulnerable? But we do know that ever since we were small, we've always been told one thing: be brave, be courageous, don't be shy, don't be, always in whatever the situation be brave. Yeah, don't cry, don't show your tears, be brave. And so now that we are discussing this in the topic of vulnerability, you will probably know that it is somehow related, but it is the other side of it. So when we are young and we are being told be brave, we are being told that no matter what the circumstance outside is, you have to put up a brave front. You have to look as if you are brave. Whether it's the truth or not, well, in this case, make it, or rather fake it. Fake it till you make it. And if you don't make it, bloody keep faking it. So that's how it is that, no, just put up a brave front. And we do that in so many places. In, in our education system, we have to go through so many different experiences when we are growing up, when we are with friends, when we are with family. And at all of those places, the one thing that is constantly being, fed to us is be brave. Be brave. Whether you are being bullied, put up a brave front, it's nothing. Whether you are being harassed, be brave, it's okay. Just be brave. Are they teaching you how to be brave? No, they're just telling you to put up a brave front. And as you begin to put up a brave front, these lines that you have between where does self-love start and where does self-love end, those lines start to get muddled up. You are being brave in front of people while you're not feeling that inside. Yeah, you're not feeling that inside. So what is it that you're actually doing by being brave in situations where, right now you're not up to the mark, not being there? What is it that you're doing? You are lying to yourself. You're lying to the outside. You are lying to yourself. Of course, because I speak the first lines as you're lying to yourself, because in the energy space, we understand there is no one outside. No one outside. So who am I lying to? I'm lying only to myself. But to keep a brave front, I'm lying to many people on the outside as well. And then it becomes a way of life. It becomes a way of life to have two different faces: a face for yourself, which you cannot afford to let other people see. So you have to keep lying to protect that face, to protect yourself. You do not want to, why is it that we want you to be brave? Why is it that we want you to put up a brave front? Because that will show to you that you are not feeling hurt. When you are brave in a situation, then you are running away, shying away, as a matter of fact, from being hurt. When somebody is doing something you and it's really hurting you, but you can't show your hurting face, you have to show a brave face. Now, yes, everybody taught it to you, etc., etc. But let's be very clear. This is the energy space. So everybody taught you this only because your energy asked for this experience of this lie that you speak to yourself. The lies that you speak to yourself, and one of them being, I am only brave. And no matter what happens, I have to be brave. And so, as we begin to explore the facade of this brave, this courageous self that you are showing up, I wanted to actually just simply go in, because it was really funny. I had no idea what it was. I'm speaking for myself. I had no idea what it was to be vulnerable. I had zero ideas. I had been brought up with the similar stuff. You have to be brave, you have to be courageous. Mind you, it helped me a lot. Being brave and courageous helped me a lot. Today, when I look back, I can actually see that it helped me a lot because I was not pretending. I actually was brave. And when people told me to be brave, I could follow those steps and be there because I was fearless. One of those things that comes with grace, when you already hold the energy of abundance, abundance is all about being fearless. So I didn't know. I thought people were asking me to be brave, and therefore I was following instructions and being brave. But it is this, why did it work for me so much? Because that was not a pretense. It was still a single face outside and the same face within. But when most of us are being told to be brave, so when I was talking about my own story, when this journey started, and somebody came to me in my workshop, and she came and she had all the knowledge in the world. She had been pursuing spirituality, every program, every course there might be for years, and she had all the answers of what everything energy is. She had all the knowledge, and yet seeking. And she came to me when I did my first workshop. Now she came, and she took a great amount of liking for me, but there was this thing in her. She could see me as being the masculine energy. And she said, I am the feminine energy. And so I will not understand. You are such a masculine energy that you will not understand what it is to be the feminine energy, to be vulnerable. I'm like, yeah. I mean, I've only heard about like be vulnerable, but I have no idea what it is. So I went in, and I actually, at the age of 50 something, I had to go and Google vulnerability. So today I'm going to simply go back over there and tell you what being vulnerable or vulnerability actually means. So here it is. Vulnerability is the quality of being easily hurt. Being easily hurt. So it comes from the Latin word wound, and it is the state of being open to injury. It might be emotional, like admitting that you are in love with someone and, they might only like you as a friend, but you go over there knowing that you might get hurt, and you open up your heart to them. Now, that is a prime example of being vulnerable. You know that you might get hurt, and you open yourself to that hurt. So, that is what vulnerable means. Of course, these days we also talk about vulnerability in terms of system checks and computers, etc. But that's not the topic to be discussed over here. We will simply talk about this aspect of ours. Are we open to being hurt or not? So when I looked at this definition and I thought about it to myself, and I said, oh my God, I mean, while she might not know much about me, but this one thing that I have no idea what vulnerability is. And then I looked at it and said, had I opened myself to being hurt, and all my life, no matter where I was, no matter what I had done, it was always this, that as soon as I thought that somebody might hurt me, I would actually walk away from that space much before, much before. I would walk away from that space. Let us say I'm dating somebody, and I think that that person is not serious, or might not be serious, or whatever it is, or might not be the right one for me. Then, without giving any further notice, I would actually just simply walk away. Yeah. And so, would I get hurt? Yeah. But would I be opening myself to hurt? No. I would hurt myself, and I would find it easier for me to recover, to overcome this one. In all of my life of 50 years, till then, I only found one incident where I had been vulnerable, where I had been open to receiving hurt. And boy, did I receive hurt. And at that point in time, it didn't feel so good. And it made me even more hell-bent on not opening myself to hurt. So now, apparently, that's what they call masculine energy. And so I understand, we play in energies, but that is what is called masculine energy. And so as I moved further, as I progressed further, I said, okay, that might be true about vulnerability because I'm shying away from being hurt. But what is it? Do I have zero feminine energy? And I actually found that no, that's not true. And so when somebody just puts you in a bucket, and you know what? She had so much knowledge that I was like, okay, I don't know anything. If you say it, it must be true. But then I found that no, they were coming from a very narrow space of defining energy. But all of us are either this or that, depending on what the situation is, and depending on what our programs and conditionings are, depending on what our energy field looks like in that moment. So, really, there is nothing called masculine energy not having any feminine traits, or feminine energy not having any masculine traits. So, now we come back to this word again, because she typically described this as, oh, this is feminine energy. We open ourselves to being hurt. Over the years, as I have looked at this, I've looked at vulnerability in a different way. When I look at myself and that I did not open myself to being hurt, I can see the energy that I was operating from. It was not masculine or feminine. It was the energy of fear. The fear of being hurt belongs to both sides, male, female. So it's not classified as just this, but I was operating from fear of being hurt. So the energy that I had to work on to open myself to being vulnerable was not that I had to go out and open myself to receiving hurt, but not being fearful, not being fearful of being hurt. And so, as I began to do that, what is the first thing that happened? When we are trying to protect ourselves from being hurt in any situation, we will pretend. We will pretend to be something that we are not, and that is a lie we speak to ourselves. When we begin to look at being vulnerable, being open to this, so what if I get hurt? Hurt is just a frequency. So when we come from this space, we are no longer fearing a stage of being hurt. Will we be hurt? Yes. Will we cry for 3 days? Yes. Then will we be able to look within and say, where is this coming from? It's coming from an expectation. Sometimes the expectation is from yourself, and sometimes the expectation is from another. But the fear of being hurt is then dissolved as we begin to look at everything as just being a frequency, just an energy. That fear that no, if I get hurt, it's going to be really bad for me. I will not be able to handle it. I cannot deal with it. I better take some action before this happens. We are no longer operating from that space. And then what starts to happen? We no longer need to lie, not to others and not to ourselves. Now, you would say, if we don't lie, we lie n number of times in a day, even in diplomacy. We are being diplomatic so that we won't hurt this person and we won't hurt that person. But again, to understand that there is no other. There is no other. Whether we are fearful of hurting them, it's not fearful of hurting them. It's just fearful of hurting ourselves, and we are projecting that hurt on them. Just like when we see people outside who are helpless and we say, I feel for the helpless people. You're not feeling for the helpless people. You're feeling your own helplessness. That is getting triggered when you look at people on the outside. So that happens with every frequency. And this is what happens even when you are being or trying to be vulnerable, or rather escaping it. We look at all the people around us who have looked at love and said, oh, never love, it hurts, it does this, it does that. We have all those programs and conditions, and we don't want to put ourselves in that place. There is no one on the outside. And so as we move, as we run away from hurt, now to not do that anymore, but to explore that frequency. What would it be if you stopped being courageous and you opened yourself to being vulnerable? You opened yourself to speaking the truth. I like somebody, okay, I walk up to them and I say, I like you. What would happen? They would say either of the two things, yes, no, or well, it might be a maybe. But let's assume that the maybe sits towards the no side. And so let's just sit with yes or no. What would happen? What would happen is if they said no, we would be hurt. We would experience the feeling of hurt. And so we don't want to face that. But let us say they say yes. What if they say yes? We would be very happy. But does it mean that we would never get hurt by them? No. Hurt is your frequency. It's going to play. And so you can let go of the fear of being hurt. It's going to happen. If you do it with one face, the one person that needs to know that you're speaking the truth is you. There is no one on the outside. So you speak the truth. You don't speak the truth to the outside. We don't care. Are you speaking the truth to yourself? When you say a lie outside, it's just a drama, it's the Maya out there, and that's fine. When you begin to believe that lie yourself, that's where the lie begins to hurt you because it's not your truth. So, what is your truth? Your truth, the one and only truth that we push for, is your truth is your energy. You're not just this body, you're not just an emotion, you're not just one frequency. You are energy, the mighty creator yourself. Now, that truth you are running away from. If that is the truth that you're running away from, that I am energy, then all of the forces around you, and you've all seen it happen, that you come into a place, come to a workshop like this, and that is the only place where the cycle will come to an end. So if everything is already bringing you towards it, let's go and embrace that piece of ourselves too. So do we always have to be courageous? No, we don't have to be courageous always. Can we be can we be fearful at times? It's just a frequency. Can we be vulnerable at all times? Yes, sure. And even if you don't want to go outside and do that, at least be open to being vulnerable to yourself. Don't lie to yourself about who you are. You are the most powerful creator. And when you tell yourself, no, I'm just a victim of this place, I'm just a victim of this state, and they did this to me, and that is what is happening to me, all of those places are a lie that you speak to yourself. And so, when we begin to put a stop to vulnerability, this is the first truth that you have to accept. Not to lie to yourself, but to accept this truth. The minute you come from this truth, this fear of getting hurt on the outside will stop bothering you. Outside hurt is simply a matter of your own expectations. And now you are aware. So, what if expectations come every day? Because they do. You break one set of expectations, your life changes, it becomes so much better. But what happens with that change? Another set of expectations is created. And so, as expectations are created, you will find yourself opening to hurt, irrespective of whether you want it or not. And so, let's cut the BS out and let's open ourselves and be one face. One face, the one in, the one out. When would that happen? When you're no longer scared of the outside being able to hurt you. Here are your friends, here are your enemies. Those buckets would have vanished because you know that there is nobody that's a friend or a lover. There is nobody that's an enemy or a villain in your life. All of the stories belong to your energy field. And so, fearing what? What are we fearing? What are we running away from? And why are we putting up a mask? And who are we putting up that mask for? So, that's my 2 bits on vulnerability. But let's see, somebody has. Okay. So here says, Meg, she says, okay. I have been experiencing this pattern. This is a comment we have. I have been experiencing this pattern of hurt from vulnerability since the last couple of relationships, tilting to no. When I work within, the mind says not again, and now so does the heart. After being vulnerable, is my lesson now to go to courage and walk away and break the pattern? Will that complete the circle of unconditional love? I'm still open to being hurt, but I feel now it's time to be courageous. Have worked on myself of getting hurt, but repeat patterns. The patterns repeat. So maybe some layers are left. I'm confused. What is the way to break this pattern of vulnerability, having been through it repeatedly? The word vulnerability, I just broke down and I said fear of being hurt. So here it is. I'm going to repeat this entire comment again. I have been experiencing the pattern of hurt from fear of being hurt. I'm repeating this entire comment with wherever you use the word vulnerability. Okay. I have been experiencing this pattern of hurt from fear of being hurt since the last couple of relationships when I work within. The mind says, not again. And now so does the heart. After being vulnerable, so after being fearful of being hurt, is my lesson now to go to courage? Yes, courage of being hurt. Walk away to break this pattern. Walk away from whom? That's where. Walk away from an outside relationship. The relationship doesn't exist. It's a mirror. It's a mirror. So now can you see that the repeat pattern is your fear of hurt? That is the repeat pattern. You're scared now of being vulnerable. And so you would rather keep a curtain out there. But again, when I look at it and say, you're scared of exploring a relationship, and then you say, will that complete my circle of unconditional love? It's not a circle, my darling. It's a spiral. It's a spiral. Our entire life is not a circle being completed. It is a spiral. And so, even as I talk on a daily basis of, we come back to the same place, but to open up another layer. And we come back to the same place to open another layer. And that's what it means to have a repeat pattern, that you're coming back to it again and again at the same space, not moving. But when you do move, can I assure you that, okay, now that you've completed your circle of unconditional love, you're never going to experience this pattern again. You're never going to feel hurt. You're never going to be vulnerable and open to vulnerability. And then, therefore, blah, 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 blah. No, it doesn't work like that. The life moves in spirals, and we keep opening layers and layers and layers and layers. The focus is to go deeper within, but the stairs keep running. I've been looking at myself, I don't know for how many days now, nights, in the sleep also, I look within so many times. Has my circle of anything become complete? No. Do I get angry? Of course. Do I get sad? Absolutely. What circle of sadness, circle of hurt, circle of unconditional love? You have to understand we are moving. We are moving, we are moving. Whether you take it like, okay, we are moving, people call it ascension, or you call it this way, we are moving deeper into each layer. No matter what, this is not a circle. This is going to be constantly moving and discovering yet another layer of it. But the layer that you are at right now, and that's where the repeat pattern goes, the layer is about fear of getting hurt. And so you say, oh, not again. Is my lesson now to go to courage? Yes, courage to experience hurt openly without saying, no, not again. Why am I falling for this guy? Or whatever it is. No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean anything. You are simply sitting in fear. Okay. I'm still open to being hurt, but I feel now it's time to be courageous. Absolutely. It's being courageous, but not in separation. This courage is not about doing actions on the outside and whatever. The absolute idea of fearlessness is this. So what? if I get hurt? This is fearlessness. And you know the answer to so what? So what if you get hurt? What will happen? You will sit and mope and cry for 3 days, maybe 3 weeks also. Okay. And then what will happen? One day, this finger of yours that's moving outside will come here. And that's it. And that's the answer each time. So, where is the fear of any frequency at all? And that's where the courage will be. I worked on my fear of getting hurt, but the pattern repeats. So maybe them layers are left. Oh, yes, absolutely. I'm confused. What is the way to break this pattern? The way to break this pattern is to speak to yourself in this way. What am I looking for in this relationship? What is my expectation? And to work right here, firstly, on the expectation itself, because it is not that other person who is exploiting your vulnerable self, it is you who is coming with expectations, and expectations have known to bring us disappointment. So we know that expectations, when broken, will bring us disappointment, will take us through the same da 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 again. But each time, as we work on ourselves, already as we let go of the expectations from another, what you are experiencing in that moment itself is unconditional love. If you're looking for a circle to be complete, it's complete in that moment within you, with hardly a stimulus from the outside. You looking into the expectations, you looking at the hurt, and being able to bring the finger within and to say, I am the creator. That point of I am the creator. You are creator, you are Shiva. The recognition of that is exactly what unconditional love is. It's so funny that you say so, because in my sleep today, just today itself, I was brought to this understanding of love, and to look within. In my sleep, I am being asked, so who do you really, 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 really love? And the funny thing is, the answer that came to me from my unconscious mind was no one, not even this. I teach everyone unconditional love first to the self. But today, just in the morning, when I was asked, who do you really, really, really love? It was nobody, not even this. And then I said, oh my God, and this is all, by the way, this is my sleep, but I do get so much of amazing stuff in the sleep. So I said, oh my God, but then wouldn't that be empty? Wouldn't that just be like completely empty? If I don't even love myself, wouldn't that be completely empty? And Mani said to me, yup, that is unconditional love, that empty space, the pure empty space with nothing. No love, no hate, no something, not just blankness in this moment. That's unconditional love. Does it mean that I will not hug people? Array, I will do everything that the earth brings to me. I will get angry, I will get sad, I will cry, I will give danda, all of that. But today, Mani gave me the answer that this is true unconditional love, this space of blankness. Now, when I look at it, okay, it's the same blankness that Mani has said, this is enlightenment. It is the same blankness that Mani has said, this is moksha, this is nirvana. And today in the morning, or rather, in this sleep awake state, he tells to me this feeling of zero state is unconditional love. Because here, not just others don't exist, even you don't exist. The state of complete blankness. So there you go. So from that space, and again, Will I stop telling you, love yourself? No, no, no. No, because this is a moment that we are talking about. On earth, we are going to experience everything. And in that space, we can come either from separation or from oneness. And so, to come to oneness, the finger will point within. And from the finger to point within, the love will be for the self only. But from love for the self to even blankness for the self, that is what the answer came today. And that recognition, because I always tell people, I love myself. I always tell people, and that's from my conscious mind. And so it had to happen in my sleep that I was asked this question: who do you really, 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 really love? You were to ask me right now, the answer would be me. But asked in the sleep, and the answer was not even me. Not even me. There is no, there is no emotion, there is just blank space. Peaceful blank space of the energy. And that, Mani said, that place is what actually truly belongs to unconditional love. So hopefully, it'll give you the next step of, okay, I love myself so much, and then where to go from here. Yeah. So yeah, as the comment says, well, thank you so much. Have been sitting with this since last few weeks. Have a headway to work on now. I get stuck at core expectation of marriage. Yeah, marriages are very, very beautiful. They give you a lot of joy. They give you everything that you're looking for. You get one person to love totally crazily and all of that stuff. And everybody in the world, whoever has got married, is going to completely agree with what I'm saying right now. So that's why marriage is so necessary. And without that, there cannot be any unconditional love. Marriage is the first step towards unconditional love for the self. Yeah, right. Okay, everyone. So, in that space, again, an outside person will only give you exactly what your experience demands through your energy field. So, the word marriage comes up, and it will be क्या कहते हैं उसको, a trigger for so many people into lack. And I say so many people, the ones who are married and the ones who are not married. It can put both kinds of people into lack, into many other emotions as well. When you are love, then that love will come to you from people. Again, if you put finger on, oh, I'm love now, I'm unconditional love, my love should therefore come from my mother because she has never given me love. Or my love should now come from that and that person because they are the ones I give maximum love to. Expectations of love are the farthest thing from love. Farthest. So, the minute you are expecting, yeah, fine, go ahead, get married to anybody. Why do you need to love them to get married? Love is something that will happen on its own. It's happened for our parents. They got married without seeing the person they were going to, not my parents. They had to run away. But so many parents of the older generation, yeah, they saw the person once, twice, got married, and made it work. In love, with love, what the hell is that, right? So get married. They will only be able to give you what you hold. If you hold love for yourself, every kind of marriage, arranged, runaway, love marriage, anything will work towards love if you hold love for yourself. But if you truly hold love for yourself, marriage becomes, I don't know, just one name, just a term for one of the people giving you love. That's it. One of the people. So going back to the topic of vulnerability, the anytime now I've given you guys something to crack on this term vulnerability. In vulnerability is about not wanting to be seen by yourself as a failure. And so put up a brave face wherever you are, in whatever condition you are, and make it look like nothing has happened. I actually find that many people in MPFY, when they face disappointments, uh, they've been working on something and they've been, they open up, they go to somebody, they want to start something new, whatever, and then they face rejection. And I find that, yes, as they face rejection, they have this one line to come back to: the universe is playing in my favor. Yeah, that's a line that I remind you each time, that if this has happened, the universe is playing in your favor. But what happens many a times is you don't want to you don't want to be called a failure. You don't want this to be looking like failure. To whom? Firstly, to yourself. You do not want that. And so then you pretty much run to this mantra saying, yeah. But I know that this is the universe playing in my favor. And what happens at that point is that you haven't experienced what that frequency was here to bring to you. I take you back to the very basics. The basic of release is that firstly you sit and you accept the emotion for what it is. Sadness, this is sadness, is it? Oh, I'm experiencing sadness today. So here, disappointment, I'm experiencing disappointment today. And this experience of disappointment is from this, and this. Okay, let me first sit and complete this experience. Not running towards that, but literally walking towards that phrase that the universe is playing in my favor, but looking at your disappointment and allowing yourself to experience disappointment. Allowing, opening yourself to this truth as well, not being fearful of failure or this disappointment or whatever has brought it. So spend time in it, understand this particular emotion, and then you will be able to say, it's just a frequency. You'll be able to say it and you will move quicker. But what I noticed, and then what happens if, and this is what happens, and this is what has happened actually. And I was having a conversation with somebody, and they were telling me, I've been doing these projects, I've been doing this, that, and everything, but everything just so close. And then it doesn't work out. And I can't understand why this is happening. And I understand, and I totally understand that the universe is playing in my favor. But what am I to learn from it? The universe is playing. I know that the universe is playing in my favor. But what am I to learn from it? And I said, yeah, the universe is playing in your favor, but you're getting this repeatedly because you're not pausing there to experience the fullness of that emotion itself. If you were to completely experience that disappointment for this now, and not run away from it, not hide behind. This mantra is not for hiding behind. This mantra is power, that the universe is constantly playing in my favor. And so if the universe is bringing you to a repeat pattern, it definitely is playing in your favor. But how to understand why it's bringing you here again and again? It's bringing you here again and again because that experience itself remains. And so we complete that experience. Sometimes something is too much, and so we don't experience it. It'll come another time. But when it comes another time, again, allow for that experience before you, run towards. You walk, you stroll. It's so cute, that recently when I lost my mom, and I cried. Of course, I cried, and I was grieving. And somebody told me, that children, they follow what I teach. And they said, what do you mean by Meenal auntie was crying? But she understands energy. Why would she cry? Like, why didn't she change her energy? Why would she cry? And I just smiled when I heard this back. And I said, I can change energy, and I am in the process of changing it. And it's changing. But I don't need to rush out of it. I'm here experiencing the sorrow, experiencing the sadness, experiencing the grief in its fullness. Today, I might experience it for an hour. Tomorrow, it might be for 2 hours or 2 minutes. But each time the emotion comes, I don't run away from it saying, okay, the universe has shown me that I'm feeling grief. I can remove the grief and I can change the frequency. I'm watching and witnessing the frequency and allowing it. Why? Because I'm not afraid of it. I am not afraid of, of grief. I am not afraid of losing. I am not afraid of being vulnerable. I am not afraid. The work to be done is on fear. And only then can you actually simply look into the frequency to say, it's just the frequency. So even here, as you look at your self and look at where all places you have been vulnerable and you have had to receive hurt, understand that hurt is part of our lives. You know, uh, somebody said, oh my God, I went through so much heartbreak in that relationship and whatever. And I pointed out to them that heartbreak, whether in a relationship or by yourself, heartbreak is part of our lives. You went through it with a lover, and so it holds this pain in you. People have gone through heartbreak with different relationship. Somebody with a brother, somebody with parents, they've gone through heartbreak. Heartbreak is here to open up your heart, to make it bigger, to crack it into pieces so that then you're not limiting it to one or two people. So heartbreak, do not be fearful of heartbreak either. There you go. Okay, then. We also feel diminished. Yeah. We also feel diminished. This is other comment coming up. We also feel diminished when we are vulnerable and hurt. इज्जत का फालूदा बन जाता है. Hurt ego का क्या इलाज मंत्रा होता है. I might have been snubbed or dismissed summarily. इस experience में हम छोटे या pathetic या फुद्दू दिखाई दे रहे हैं. But it's just an experience. Actually हम awesome ही हैं. देखो कितनी जल्दी तुम यहाँ से पलट के वहां पे भागी. तो ये जो है, जो second part है, you first spoke about the first part ki izzat ka faluda ban jata hai. Ego gets hurt, pride gets hurt. I talked about the success and failure pretty much in that same line of thought. When we are successful, then our pride is up, and when we are looking at ourselves as failure, then of course izzat ka faluda ban jata hai. And therein to put in all the knowledge that you have from MPFY, by the time the sentence is finished, you came to, इस experience में हम छोटे या pathetic या फुद्दू दिखाई दे रहे, but it's just an experience. Actually, हम awesome ही हैं. So यही है कि तुमने अपने आप को जितनी जल्दी awesome माना, उतना ही अपने आप को बैठ के और फुद्दू भी तो experience करो. Somebody just, and I had talked about it just a few days ago, even as I was going to France, and it was so funny because I didn't want to go to France, and it was a lot of, I thought it was going to be a lot of effort. And Mani said, nahi, tumhe jana hai. You have to go to France for your reunion. And I asked, okay, but why do I have to go to France for the reunion? And he's like, oh, it's your experience of being a nobody. I was like, I'm being a nobody here itself. When I get out on the streets, people don't know me. So many times I go and people don't know me. Why do I have to go all the way to France? Why can I not go to Alvar to be a nobody? And he's like, no, you have to go over there and be a nobody. And it was so beautiful because I understood the difference he was trying to create for me and how beautifully, he was creating it. When I walk on the streets, uh, everybody is a nobody. So I'm a nobody. It doesn't hurt. When I'm in the middle of INSEAD, क्या कहते हैं उसको, alumni, okay, people who were with me have gone ahead and done things, been there, done that, made money, made something, 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 and they're all speaking of their successes. Now I can experience being a nobody. And then I have to see whether I'm feeling hurt or not. But that is my experience of nobody, where people are somebodies. Otherwise, on the street, everybody is a nobody. I'm a nobody. So then that's oneness only. But when people are somebody and I'm a nobody, can I come to oneness in that space? So Mani told me that, and it was so beautiful because I went over there and felt nothing. I just felt so much fun. I felt good. I did fun things. I did not talk to many people about what I do, but there were a couple of people who already have done the program. They talked about the work that I do and they wanted to hang out with me. And even over there in the middle of that nobodiness, Money sent a few people to help me experience some bodiness. But at any point in time, when we feel the nobody, are we able to be as much at peace with it? And that's where the whole success and failure game lies. If you think of yourself as a failure, then तुम्हारी इज्जत तुम्हारे काम में है. What you do will matter because that is where you put your value. I don't put my value anywhere. I already am Shiva. So whatever I do is time pass. On days I'm being a somebody, I'm a time pass. Then when you talk about vulnerability brings you to this place, well, not really. Vulnerability is about you opening up, and then from that opening up, whatever happens on the outside, what do you take away from it? What do you take away from it is your story. And where will you take this story? I've given you all of the answers for that. Key, it's all about fear. We are approaching this. I don't want to be looking like a fuddu. So now you have a fear of fuddu. So even when you are running to this space called hum to awesome hi hain, no, hum to awesome hi nahi hain. Right now the word awesome is being used as an adjective. What you are and what I keep reminding you is this awesome is not an adjective. I am fuddu and I'm awesome. And through it all, I'm awesome, which means through it all, I'm the creator, I'm the Shiva. In that lies my awesomeness of whatever I created right now. I created a Fuddu moment for myself right now. I am the creator and I'm awesome at creating. So, not to be using this word, this phrase, and I keep reminding everybody, even when, if you've heard me anytime in my webinars on the daily sessions, I am awesome. It's a recognition to the self. It's not about, I did this and so I'm awesome. And I couldn't do this, so I'm fuddu. Then that is value judgment, and you are taking that value judgment on yourself. So that's how it is. All right. Okay. All right, everybody. I think pretty much, yeah, into the space. We'll do a 5-minute quick meditation, and that too only to go to a place where you felt the most vulnerable. So take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath in and exhale. And now bring yourself to any time, an event, one event, any event in your life where you felt hurt because you had opened up. You spoke your truth and your truth got rejected. Or you spoke your truth and somebody shut you down. Go to that place. The place where your pride got hurt. Because you tried to speak your truth. And as you remind yourself of that event, go back into that space and accept that moment. Accept that moment of hurt, rejection, disappointment. This is your frequency at play in that moment. That was the experience, the entire build-up. You went outwards, you did something so that you could experience hurt, rejection, disappointment. This was your creation towards this experience. Your creation. Disappointment, it's just a frequency and it wanted to be experienced. Hurt is the frequency creation from expectation. And we laugh because expectations are every day. They're a given ingredient on earth. They will come tomorrow and it's okay. You will hurt again and that's okay too. It's just a frequency. In this moment, fully feel as much as you can. It might have been some time, but fully feel that feeling that you experienced in your heart. That heavy, uncomfortable, gut-wrenching, whatever name you might want to give to it. If you can experience it right now, it's okay. But even otherwise, give it a little bit more time and just go and sit there in that space and allow your heart to feel that way. Allow it. It's just a frequency. It wants to be experienced. No running away from it. No shunning it. Just recognizing it for what it is. Just one experience. Created by you. And now, in this moment, we create the next experience. In this moment. Simply the best answer to everything. Self-love. So hold yourself and remind yourself, I am awesome. I am the awesome creator of every experience in my life. I love myself I am Shiva. Take a deep breath in and inhale this line. I am Shiva. Om Mani, Om Mani, Om Mani. Okay, everyone, lots and lots of love to all of you. And thank you so much. And let's see, who do we have here? Let me just change this to, oh, I have to remove the spotlight. I could see Yo-Yo and hi Tetsu. Hi,
Itu hai कैसे थे? आई है मिमी आई है.
Mimi. Hi. Bye. See you soon. See you soon. I see you soon. Bye. Lots of love. Okay. Lots of love, everybody. Bye, all. Thank you so much.